what we do, it is not something we do just because we do it, but this is our identity. This is not what we do, this is who we are. And closing doesn't make the executive, but it amplified the executive.
Amplified.
I love wearing jewelry, and I have been told, Eloiza, as you're growing in your executive roles, chill out on the earrings. Earrings are too big, they dangle too much, this and this and this. And I thought, wow, that's just really interesting, because for me, that was part of my identity. The way that I look, the way that I feel, the way that it makes me feel, that's part of the issue, is giving up part of your identity in order to grow in your presence.
You want to look the way you feel comfortable, what makes you feel good, because when you feel good, that energy, you radiating that energy in every room that you walk. And some people, that radiation might be too powerful for them to accept.
At first, you talk about the impact it has and how people view you, okay. But it communicates to the other person that you care about them. It's not about yourself, but also about them, because you dressed up for them and for you. It's really powerful, right? You sort of donated over 34,000 suits to young men. Why are you doing it? That's quite the...
So, okay. I started this because...
Welcome to a new episode of Disrupt the Podcast with Andrés, Tapia, and...
Eloiza, Domingo.
Where we challenge conventional wisdom and we look at the ways that are shaping our future.
So we're excited to be back with you. And today we've got an amazing guest. And today we're going to be talking about disruption of presence, which honestly, before we let's introduce our guest. So this is one of those moments again, Andrés, where we have somebody who you have brought forward, a friend of yours, a colleague of yours that you've known for a long, long time, who has dressed you
That's right.
for a long time. So for our guests, if you have watched the podcast and you look at any of the episodes, a lot of the clothing that Andrés has worn has actually been made by this guest today. So let's just start there. Why don't you tell us, introduce our guest and tell us how you know him.
Well, actually, his name is Haj, so you see it on the label here. Haj has been my tailor for over 20 years. We met in the corporate circuit. But yes, we connected with mutual interests that we'll talk about in terms of people and presence and identity and inclusion. But he became a friend along the way as he dressed me, right? And you'll find out, and this is why I love about working with Haj and why I'm excited about having the program, is that it's not just about the threads and how they look, but it's really about how they tie to who we are. And that's why we talk about disrupting presence. So Haj, welcome to the show today.
Welcome.
Good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Haj, why don't you tell us, first of all, we would love for you to just tell our guests, who are you? Just from your own vantage point. And then because we're disrupting presence, when we were off camera, you kind of told us your definition of presence. I would love for you to talk about that.
Yeah. Well, my name is Haj Gueye. A lot of people know me by Haj, third generation, and been doing this in U.S. for the last 36 years.
Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Senegal.
Okay.
And spent some of my younger days in Paris, which is how my father transferred the family business to me. Wow. And I came here since 1988, and, God been good ever since.
Well, I'm interested in the family lineage, like you say, 3 generations, Paris, you studied under some well-known designer. Tell us a little bit more about your journey.
So my journey started out with my grandfather was a tailor, used to dress some of the kings and queens in West Africa.
Wow.
And it's a long story, so I'm going to make it short. And then my father was the only son that my grandfather had. So my father was obligated to take the trade, that my grandfather had. And my father transferred from Africa to Paris. And after the Second World War, colonizing, my father stayed in France, which is when his success started blooming. In our tradition, when there's a family trade and when a child is born, and that trait of that man started evolving, blossoming, that child is a blessed child supposed to take on the family's trait. That's
wow,
where I came in as number 3 in the family. So
okay.
third child out of 17. So
Oh, whoa.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that. So, but I was the chosen one, and
And who did you study under?
my father.
No, but you also had a designer that you worked with.
I work with, I grew up working with Jean-Paul Gaultier. We were in the same school. And, in Paris, when you grow up, in the fashion school, we do competition in the fashion week. Now, for an example, the student that wins that fashion competition for the school,
Yeah.
3 times you have to be, they will invest in that student to they raise a capital and to have that student create a line of clothes, and that line of clothes is sent to the department store. Now, the year 1987, 88, no, 86, 87, then 88, I was the first who went 3 years in a row.
Oh my gosh.
And that third year, the president of Macy's drafted me to come and work for Macy's to do the pattern. That's how I started doing the clothes here in the US. In the US.
So you know what I think is interesting? Let me
That's a long story.
No. That was good. But one thing I think was interesting, Haj, is you said that, you were kind of the blessed child, the chosen one. But is this what you wanted to do? I mean, was there anything else you wanted to do?
I didn't have a chance to choose.
Okay.
And in our culture, your parents decide what you do in this situation.
But did you have but out of 17, did they say you because or why? But why did they choose you?
Why they choose me? Because when my father business blossomed, automatically point out to me, and I was born at that moment.
Oh, so it's
after, I was born at that moment.
Not tied into what they saw in you. There was just a
No, it's a blessing. This is the child supposed to take the family trait. So that
it's a good thing you have the skills. But it's a good thing you
but I tell you, I love doing this more than anything.
Okay,
so they called it right.
Yeah, they did. I was going to say, it was destiny.
I didn't have a choice to choose, and it was embedded in me and grew up in this. I mean, think about this. My father was so focused, so caring about presents because he dressed dignitaries. So as a child, the boys wear a dress shirt and a tie. The girls wear a dress. Why? Because what we do, it is not something we do just because we do it, but this is our identity. This is what we do. This is who we are. What is that? That's having an impactful present, and not only having it for us, but that's what we want to bring to the world. It's a value add. This is what we do. And what you do, you're supposed to look like, in our African proverb, you're supposed to look like what you do. Just like executive, they have the presence, because this is part of, we have a friend of ours who, we know to each other, who's in the executive search. What are the main things that they're focusing on? One of the criteria to get an executive is there's a protocol in corporate America talk about having a presence.
That's right. That's right.
Every position in any role, that image, having that personal image present, it is invaluable. That is one of the most important part of
I agree. But here,
human being.
So this is a really good conversation, especially as a woman, a young woman of color, a woman executive. What oftentimes happens, and I agree with you 100%, when we get into, you and I have both been executives at many organizations, and they say, oh, you need to have executive presence.
Yeah.
The argument is that, what the heck is that? I mean, and I would love to hear your definition, but what the argument is that for men it seems to be something different. For women it also seems to be something different, and for women it tends to be more like men, be more bold, be more maybe even like aggressive, meaning, say what you want, take space. As women, we're not taught that oftentimes, especially for me as a Filipina. I was not taught that. It was like follow the men, submit to men. Now, over time, I have learned that because in order for me to be successful, especially as I'm 4'10", I'm a woman of color, I had to take up space in various ways. So I had to learn that, but that's not intrinsic, to me. So that's number one. The other thing too is that oftentimes what happens is somebody will see you and say, wow, you have a really good skill. You're a very good operator. But in order for you to grow in your role, I need to see more executive presence. And we always say, what is that? What is that? So I would love to hear your definition. I already saw you kind of responding to me talking about that. So I would love to hear your thoughts about that.
Well, okay. Executive presence, I'm going to bring closing. Closing is an asset. And closing doesn't make the executive, but it amplified the executive.
Amplifies.
I would agree with that.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's an asset. Because when the way you show up, your present is the way you show up. That sends a signal to any room you walk in before you get there. And the people will look at you and make a judgment. Now, that's the first impression. Sometimes you might not get a second chance to make that first impression.
I agree with that.
So I look at it, that executive present to be, you don't have to be any leader, head of a state. They always have to have that. To me, whether is head of a state, whether is an executive, whether is a sales rep, whether is an athlete, the way you show up telling people who you are.
Yeah.
So is that present. The present comes say, hey, I am somebody. I am respectable. I love myself. And the way I show up should tell you who I am. I am a man of integrity.
Yeah, but let's bring it together, right? Because look at the three of us. We're very different from each other.
Yes.
And we all have presence.
Yes.
we
And
do.
you look at your clients out there. So what does it mean to have presence? And so I know we're talking about executive presence. That's where you went, Eloiza. But still, even there's different personalities, right?
That's right.
And so how is it that you, as a fashion designer, as a tailor, how is it that you make sure that the presence of an individual like Eloiza or an individual like me or an individual like you has power and presence and announces something, but yet it's about the uniqueness of each of the three people in this example.
True.
How do you make sure that presence is not a cookie cutter presence, right? And I think that's kind of what you were getting at, Eloiza, because who defines what executive presence looks like?
And that's what I was thinking.
And many
exactly.
times it's really the power lead.
Right, correct.
And then they make judgments about how you show up. So how do you manage all this?
And that plus, what oftentimes happens is that, especially for women, because the judgment of what presence is, whether it's executive or not, presence or not, or executive presence or not, it is oftentimes women or a younger person may have to give up part of who they are. So
or a person of color.
Exactly, or a person of color. Like I was told when I was becoming more, I was getting more and more promotions in my job. I love wearing jewelry, hoops, pulled hair back, hair down, makeup, And I have been told, Eloiza, as you're growing in your executive roles, chill out on the earrings. Earrings are too big, they dangle too much, this and this and this. And I thought, wow, that's actually really interesting because for me, that was part of my identity. The way that I look, the way that I feel, the way that it makes me feel. And I will tell you that and it was a woman who told me this, and I ended up changing them. And I didn't. It was something so small, and I didn't feel like myself. But I was told that to be more executive, lose the hoops, lose the dangles. So that's what. So that's part of the issue is giving up part of your identity in order to grow in your presence.
Well, so then let's change it. Instead of saying executive presence,
let's take
say
that out.
Impactful presence.
Yeah.
Because you can look. It's how you feel.
Yeah.
We're talking about present is how you dress yourself. You want to look the way you feel comfortable, what makes you feel good. Because when you feel good, that energy, you radiating that energy in every room that you walk.
Even if it goes counter to.
Exactly. And some people, that radiation might be too powerful for them to accept.
Yeah. So, and that's a thing.
They are not in line.
Yeah.
Those who are in line with you will be like, wow, you look great. Those who are not in line will feel intimidating.
Yeah, it's true.
So those are the things. So that's why I say let's just talk on it, change it to impactful presence.
Okay, so how do you bring them together though? So how do you work with people? Because I know you've done it with me. I've seen you do it with others. Show us the methodology that you have to make sure that who they are, who they want to convey is augmented, to use your words, with the clothes that you make for them.
Well, I get to learn the person, first of all. I have a questionnaire. If the person is in distance, living in another state, I send the questionnaire. And the questionnaire is to learn about them, who they are, what they do, the environment, and get a headshot to see what they look like. And then I create something. I like to have them looking at themselves in different lenses. And what is that is able to take their face and create different colors, patterns that we feel will really amplify their look, their presence. And we put those together, and then we sit like we did, go over it. This is what does. This is what this pattern do for you. And this is, talk about, first of all, we go communicate with having the natural fiber fabric. First of all, longevity, and then the look.
So even
colors.
fabric is part of the presence?
Everything is part of it.
Part of the identity conversation?
Absolutely.
Like, give us an example.
It is, okay, so this is started up way back in the days before polyester is, evolved as it is now. My father was always focusing on getting a natural fiber fabric. Well, natural fiber fabric, it doesn't wrinkle and it doesn't smell, doesn't keep any odor.
It breathes well too.
And it breathes well, and it has a longevity.
Yeah.
So anything that's not, and when we design something, we will create something that goes with the person identity and it's authentic. So the fabric has to be authentic because we want to bring out the inner self out, out on the outside so they can see themselves. So the fabric plays a role, the color plays a role, and the style also plays a role in each individual,
Yeah.
So we dress people based on who they are, their personality, and,
Can you give us a great example? You don't have to necessarily mention names, but just a type of persona that had this thing they wanted to communicate.
And if I can, I'm going to drop a name.
Okay.
And if it's okay, because when you introduced me to Haj, I mean, I was of course very impressed right off the bat. First of all, you had the hat, you had the fedora, you had it, you had it all, and I was like, wow. But I remember when you told me that you dressed one of my favorite comedians, Bernie Mac.
Yes.
And I was introduced to Bernie Mac in Kings of Comedy, and that's when you were working with him.
That's when
I remember watching him and really watching everybody on that stage. Color was a big thing. The lines, the cuts were a big thing. He wore hats, but it was really interesting because it was an unapologetic feel. And it was really interesting because I wasn't, even though it was really bright colors and big and all this other stuff, and he was a big guy, it wasn't distracting. It actually complemented him and it complemented his presence.
Yes.
And I thought, wow, that's actually really interesting because as I think back, I thought of how entertained I was. Like I love that show. But really, the fashion complemented it and, augmented the way that I felt about him.
That's so cool. And little did you know that you'd be able to now ask this direct question.
Little did I know. Little did I know.
So what is the answer?
I'd love for you to talk about that.
Well, so when I first met Bernie, it was right, and when his career was taking off, and Bernie, we spent a lot of time talking. Okay. At that time, he was getting ready to No, he was in Milchoneer doing the Milchoneer show, which was right there in Colombia down. He was doing a tour. And we were talking a lot. Man, what do you think about, I want you to make me a suit. I say, okay, well, I think we should approach this in a different way. A lot of these comedians, they wear in these dark suits.
Yeah.
So you on stage, you're literally invisible. When you stand high, you want to be seen. So when you wear something dark and you elevate, you kind of disappear. But how about let's do something? Let's go with some of these bright color. Why? Because you are creating your own identity, your own brand. So you have to, we have to differentiate you from everyone else.
Yeah.
So when somebody come, somebody watch your show and they gone. Outside of your funniness, what else can they take away?
Oh, that's interesting. That's
And
interesting.
that was that impactful presence. So what is that? Let's go crazy in the colors of making pink suit, yellow suit, orange suit, and all of these things. Me and him I'll make it. He's like, man, I mean, man, you know how he talks. You crazy. I say, brother, give it a try. Try it.
So he was like resistant a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit at the beginning,
But you're right though, because like many of the comedians at that time were not. Because remember when Eddie Murphy came out and he had that red leather suit, everybody was like, "What in the world?" But everybody remembers that show because of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So usually I bring something. He'd be like, "Man,
I bet he did.
Go ahead, tell me da 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 da." I'm like, "Okay, whatever. Just give it a try. Try it on. Let's see." And he'll put it on. He's like, "Damn."
Look, so interesting.
It worked, right?
It works. He started talking to himself on, in the mirror.
Good for him.
Sometimes he called his wife, "Come here. How do I look?"
Oh, good for him.
I mean, unbelievable. So we started that, and what do people started saying? The dress comedian.
Yeah.
People talk about how funny,
but
they talk about his clothes.
Yeah, I agree with Eva. I agree with
That
that.
man is sharp. That man. So that started,
it started a
amplified.
trend. Yeah.
So, and he stopped telling me what color. He'll just say, "Go ahead."
Just go. Yeah.
So usually he'll just
you.
call me, "Hey, I got few shows. I'm gonna go ahead and make 5 suits, make 3 suits, 4 suits." I make it and I take it to his house. When I go, his wife is there. She let me in.
Yeah.
So I pretty much know everything in his closet.
Wow.
I was arranging the clothes, like when he has to go to a tour.
Right.
I'll just say, "Okay, you can wear this, and then he'll start here, he'll go all the way, then come back to this way. But most of the time, before he get back to where he started, he'll have me to make 4 or 5 more suits. But the whole idea was we have to create an identity that's only Bernie Mac.
Yeah.
That every time you hear that name, you can link it to
the clothes.
He's a sharp dress man.
Yeah,
so that was the idea. That was the focus,
Yeah, so
this is what he wanted it.
So there's a celebrity.
Yes.
How about somebody corporate? Like where is it that you took someone who was ascending, needed to be distinctive, didn't want to just be cookie cutter, but had to not maybe rock the boat too much.
Right,
I don't know.
I agree with that.
And there was something about their identity that you helped bring it forth in a way that worked.
Well, I don't want to mention any of them. This is a very big executive, was interviewing for a position, and he called me up, "Haj, I'm expecting to get this job. It's going to be a big job. Everybody tell me you're the man, and don't ask me because I don't know, what I am going to get. But they send me to you, so what do you have in mind?" So I sent him the questionnaire just to know where he is, So my first thing when he answered the questionnaire is like, one thing you didn't put is dressing the position you inspired to be.
Right. Yep.
You don't dress in the position you are.
That you are.
Yeah.
You have to, because that position, one of that criteria is having that presence. So we can say executive present or impactful present.
Yeah.
Because what we what we trying to achieve is you have that present when you walk into a room, boom. So I call that most of the time with some of my clients. A lot of people, executive in particular, when they have a promotion, first thing they do, they go buy a car.
Oh,
Nice car.
that's interesting.
So, and my presentation that I do, calling the executive present, is your wardrobe should reflect who you are more than your car. Because
I agree. I agree with it.
when
see you
you
all
are
day
in
long.
the
That's right.
boardroom,
That's right.
where is your car?
That's right. It's in the garage or somewhere out. That's right. On the street.
when you are in the business deal and the corporate events.
So true. It's
all
so
that
true.
whole time you are with your peers.
Yeah.
Now, how do you want your peers
Yeah.
to perceive you?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's where your wardrobe become an asset.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Nobody know which car you're driving. Your car is in Chicago, you're in New York or Washington for a presentation or business meeting or board meeting.
Yeah.
So what happened with this guy?
Oh, he was like, man, you're right. So I'll make that long story short. We went over the color palette and I make him a package. That guy called me and said, Haj, I walked into the room. People couldn't even work. Everybody like,
I love
wow.
it. I love that.
First thing come out of their mouth is giving me a compliment. The way I look, I felt like I was plugged into the socket.
I love
I
it.
swear to God, this is what he told me. And he's a
him.
big executive. He's like,
for him.
what you promise, you deliver the
I love
promise.
that. I love that.
Because what I told him is, if you walk into that room and people don't give you if you don't get 5 compliments that day, you can come back, say, Haj, I want my money back. I'll take everything and give you your money back. He's
Wow.
like, I tell him, were you willing to put that in writing for me? He said, absolutely.
That's
you know.
amazing.
So that's not just happened in one. It happened
Yeah.
in multiple, in one of the other person too, who you know really well. One of my clients, he's been a client for as long as you, and he was in Canada walking on Montreal on the street, and there was a fashion shoot happening on the street, and one of the ladies models stopped him. Excuse me. And he stopped. He's like, this is the sharpest man I have. You are the sharpest man I've ever seen. Wow. And you're not from
He
here.
had Haj here?
Of course, And, the lady gave him a compliment. He said, thank you. It's like, wow, would you like to have a drink later?
Oh, that's awesome.
He was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
Right away, he sent me a text.
Oh, I love it. We've
Yeah.
talked a lot about, we talked about Bernie, and I know you've got all these other names and stuff. And this executive who was a guy, another guy who was, in Montreal. So talk to me about, you dress women, though.
Yes.
You specialize in women's clothing.
Yes, I did. And I have a few.
You studied. You specialized in your studies.
My degree is in women clothes. So why? Because my dad wanted me to know more of the women clothes, like, the way I know the men. So he wanted me to pursue, because he was doing solely men clothes.
Okay.
So and I was versed in the men clothes really well, but he wanted me to focus on getting my degree on the woman clothes as well. So, and that's why I went that route,
Okay.
Even though I dress more men than women, but I have done some few executive women.
So what's the difference with executive women versus executive men? What do you do?
Well, okay.
What's the difference, I guess, when you dress us?
Okay, it's easier dressing the guys than the ladies.
Why? It's easier dressing them.
Because the woman, there's more action, and woman more curvy.
Yeah.
And especially when you're working with pattern.
Yeah.
And my philosophy, everything I make, if it's a pattern, all line must matches.
Okay.
That's the distinctive of my clothing.
Okay.
What a lot of my clients see actually when they're out there in your wardrobe, is because woman has a curvy.
Yep.
So it's a little bit difficult to match this pattern.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two
Yeah.
is follow the curve, And woman design is more, you got a multiple
I
different
agree
looks,
with that.
lots of different designs and style
Yeah.
than the man.
Yeah.
So the man, we got the suit,
Yeah.
double-breasted, single-breasted,
Yeah.
dress shirt. I mean,
And pants. And pants.
and pants.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the key to the man is making sure when you dress the person, when they stand, even if you minus the head and everything, the suit looks like it can stand by itself. That's my mantra.
Okay.
That's my
Okay.
focus on when I dress something. But the ladies definitely, they have more option.
Wow.
And can we talk actually about male and female fashion now?
Yeah.
Why is it that men have such limited options, number one? Why is it that women have so many options? And what is happening today? Because we're starting to see a little bit of crossover in terms of male fashion starting to take on some what would be traditional female things like the cape or even some skirts. So how do you feel about that? But let's start with the first part of the question is like traditional male dressing, traditional feminine dressing, and then when the whys, and then in terms of presence, and then how it's evolving seemingly today.
Okay. So for men have a limited option than woman. And the traditional male is because, so I used to ask my father, because he was always focusing on the style. So if you see right now how men used to dress back in the day, they're not dressing like that today. Just like how women used to dress up back in the day, they not. What was the traditional, really well-dressed woman? It was tank dress.
Yeah.
Sleeves out to the knees.
Yep.
And, jacket like this, usually 1 or 2 button.
Yeah.
That is the style. That's what was, this was an executive presence for ladies, And when ladies' styles started getting casual, which is now, okay, the option become now ladies can wear pants. Lady it wasn't back in the day,
option, right.
It was the dress,
Right.
it was the skirt,
Right, correct.
So at that time now, ladies started fashion changing, dressing like a man. The long jacket. That's what Scotter, if you look, I work for Scotter in the past. What they doing? That's when the woman really focus. That's when they bringing it first time, not back, pants for lady, which is straight cut, long jacket. Why? Because the man dominates at that time
That's right.
in corporate America.
That's right.
So
That's
the
right.
woman trying to have an authority as
and
well.
matching. That's what I was saying
matching
earlier.
Like the men.
That's right.
That's
right.
So now the women just started changing their femininity to make it a little bit more masculine.
Correct.
That's where the switch happened between woman authority, just like men's authority, So that's one of the changes happened in the woman fashion there. And then the men's now expanding their fashion like I'm wearing. This was the original, suit design, the double-breasted. Then you got double and single. Those are the 2 options for the men's, And then woman gets into the double-breasted look.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
But then the men starting want the woman to, step out of that, role of authority. Now they have to dress to be a little bit more feminine than they are masculine. So that's when the skirt started coming. That's when you get the blouses.
Yep.
That's what you get
Yep.
the vests.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Dress up to show a little bit more skins than cover up. So this is where, why, if you see a lot of Europe coming up with colors and style, is to play with our psyche. This is what the trend is.
Yeah.
we cannot stay and just focusing on one design.
Yeah, because I would say even color is influenced male fashion now. That
Yeah.
came from women.
Yeah, it came from women.
Yeah.
The men were only having, that's why in the presentation I showed you a long time ago that I did with, I believe, IBM, it was talking about colors. Men's option was gray, black, and blue.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah, and shirts was
Woman
was white and
white.
black blue.
White and blue.
Yeah,
That's
and
it.
white. I was gonna say
White and blue.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then the woman has the variety
Yeah, right.
options,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
And my father's vision was always the color is an authority. And colors able to illuminate the person who wears it. It makes other people looking at you in different lenses.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So that's when the color dynamics started switching. Most of my executive clients, and you're the most colorful guy. I can tell, yes.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
I had to give it to him. You know, he wear colors
Yeah,
that
he
a lot
does.
of executives
Yeah, he
are
does.
afraid
Yeah,
to wear.
I agree with that.
But
I agree with
you
that.
see how it makes him look.
Yeah.
It illuminates.
Yeah.
You know, it elevates that presence.
I agree.
You know, so, and this is what I share with a lot of the clients say, you know what? You have to wear colors
A lot of people are scared of it, though. They're scared of it.
because they never see themselves in it.
In color,
And
you're right.
nobody, they haven't had the opportunity for somebody to show them what it looks like on them.
On them,
That is the
right.
reason why I created Color Palette, to give you opportunity so you can see yourself in that color before you wear that color.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because once you have that next to your skin, that gives you different lenses
Yeah.
to looking at yourself
Yeah.
before even wear it. That's an inspiration. It triggers different, you know, a mindset by looking at, oh, well, maybe I can. Even some people who just disagree with that, I'll say, you know what? I'm going to make it for you. No obligation. If you don't like
just
it,
to
you
see,
don't
yeah.
take it. But soon as they put it on, wow, I never think.
And so, Eloiza, I'm
That-
curious about,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, so much of the what he described was still this male influence on
Sure.
female, at least in the corporate. How have you dealt with it, right? And,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then even the story that you told, I was interested in the rest of it. Like, did you respond to that? Did you
The
do
earrings?
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you
Yeah.
do, and how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I was younger. First of all, when I was told, you know, I had received a pretty exclusive opportunity to be promoted. I was in an academic healthcare institution, so that was the other thing too. Is that in an academic healthcare institution, it was pretty formal. You know, you're around doctors, you're around nurses, and if you're an administrator of that medical center, there is a little bit different of an expectation to wear certain clothing and to look a certain way. I didn't know any better, so I did stop wearing those things. But to Haj's point,
How did it make you feel?
it didn't. That's exactly what I was going to say. I interestingly, you know, I would lose my confidence in meetings. I would actually not sit, you know, where I wanted to sit. I would question myself. And it's really interesting because it was as small as the earrings, but it's also the taking away of choice. It's the taking away of just being, you know, yourself. And I thought, man, why do I feel this way? This is so weird. I am a naturally confident person. My parents have always taught me presence, but I really thought that was interesting. So I went back and I don't know, I just felt a lot, you know, better. For me, over time, to your point, Haj, to me, it was also learning my body and understanding how to accentuate the curves of my body. I'm 4'10". I'm not that I'm short, but I'm also petite. And so I had to also learn how to wear the clothes I wanted to wear that didn't make me look like I was trying to be older or it was swallowing me or I was too sexy. And that, I will tell you, for me, that was difficult. So I had to like try a whole bunch of stuff, like, because if I wore a dress that fit me, it was like, well, that's too sexy. It was like, well, I don't know, and then if I wore something that was bigger, it was like, well, now you look like you're swimming in your 12. I'm like, so that for me was very difficult. As I was growing as an executive and trying to hold my presence, I couldn't. I wish I would have known him. Well, but it was difficult to dress myself and to pull things off of a rack.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people struggle with, because they don't know. But at least for you, what makes you feel good.
Yeah, I do.
And that was taken away from you.
Yeah.
Right. But somebody who, the way you were looking, they couldn't look that way, or they not paying themselves attention enough to care about the way other people see them, the way they want to show up on, in public and anywhere. The way you show up matters. That was important to you.
Yeah, it was. I agree.
So you created that. You know what makes you feel like that, but the other person was looking at permission from other folks. You were not.
That's a nice.
That's a
you're
difference.
Right. That's so true.
She wasn't looking for any permission. But the person who was giving you some whatever feedback, constructive, critical feedback, they don't have that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So what would
really
you say? Obviously this is high-end fashion and suits. And there's a price to it. In fact, you talked about, hey, instead of investing in a car, invest in suits. So it implies that there's some. But for some of our viewers that may not be at the place just yet to be able to may afford you, for example. But you work with young people. Yes. Quite a bit. You work with students. So what is the scaffolding that you would encourage, right? That they may, before they go to a high-end tailor like you and fashion designer like you, what are the 3 or 4 things that they need to keep in mind as they make choices about the clothes that they buy and how they show up in ways that would be affordable at the stage, but they kind of start building them up to the essence. I don't have to have a lot of money necessarily to have presence.
Sure. Yes.
But I need some tips. How do I have presence on a lower budget?
Yeah, great question.
You know what? That's a great question. Nowadays with AI, people can take snapshot, take one of your headshot, upload it on any AI platform, say, hey, will you help me show me some of the colors that looks good on me? AI will help there.
That's how.
Before AI, we were getting that. That's where the personal image branding, firms were doing. You come to us, we're going to help you and show you color, fabric, and style that work for you. Now AI take that job away, so you can start there.
Start there.
That's a start, and then go to a store. Don't go just I'm going to shopping. No, when you walk into a store, walk around, and any sales representative, ask them what they think. What's in style? What about color? See what their knowledge is. Where their knowledges are about having, presence, number one, or, what are people, some of the most things that people are purchasing, don't go that route. No, because you don't want to look like everybody
else.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's a good.
You know what I mean? Or print out all of the AI things. Say, I would like for you to help me sort out of getting these pieces, sport coats, slacks. The most important part, what I did for some of the Northwestern, graduate, I create, soon as most of them, I say, okay, you got to have a navy blue suit. If you can get another for 2, get 2, 1 gray, 1 blue, because it interchanges to 4 different looks. If you're going to add anything else, get in a sport coat, a patterned sport coat that has colors that you can wear with the gray slacks.
Oh, nice.
And the blue slacks.
I was going to say, do I have that?
Yeah, the blue slacks, and get a slacks, which is what slacks to have is black, and tan slacks. Now, within that combination, you have multiple different looks because the sport coat you can wear with the blue slacks for the suit, gray slacks for the suit, and you can wear the black slacks and the tan slacks.
Right, yeah.
So you got 4 different looks in one sport coat.
And then come in the shirts.
Come in the shirt. The shirt I recommend because people stay white and blue. No, add light pink. Add, lavender. Add like, very nice bright yellow, especially spring and summertime. These colors illuminate yourself. It does everybody, especially if you're in a dark, skin as well. That even amplify your look,
Yeah.
And I would add one more that this is my pet peeve. It's like, wear something that fits.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
just just spend time getting it to fit.
Yeah.
Well, so fit is so important, and apply fit to position that, you're inspired to be. You got to fit into that position.
Yeah.
And that position come with the way your clothes got to look. You got to look good, and your clothes got to fit properly. Because people looking at, everybody get dressed every day, but very few people get compliment. Why is that? The color they wear and how their clothes fit. Your clothes supposed to fit like a second skin. It's supposed to fit properly. I wear a double-breasted suit. My jacket is closed, and I'm sitting down. That's fit. If it doesn't fit, I will have to automatically open my jacket up.
Yeah.
That's not fit.
Got
and
it.
sitting down with your jacket closed properly, you get that. Okay, you can get that.
Well, you make me want to. I gotta.
Well, I mean, you got it too.
It fits.
When you talk about fit, so that's why, that the fit is very important.
Yeah.
Fit is absolutely, is critical.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? We named a couple names, but what are your thoughts about Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs came out with the black T-shirt. That's all it is, right? And he became famous for that. And he does have presence on a stage. He's incredibly intelligent, right? But he became famous for that, and kind of started a trend of being like, kind of strip off the suit, and here's this massive CEO that comes across with a black T-shirt. What are your thoughts about that?
I was going to show you a picture, but my thoughts on that, Steve Jobs never cared about presence. He's more focusing on functionality and gadgets, than presence. But that's not how he started.
No, right.
He started wearing suits. When they first created the PC, if you go online, you will see that, because I did before I create my executive impactful present for global business executive and leaders, I did a research on that, and to see some of the best dressed executive and the worst dressed executive, and then look at their performance and how much impact, positive impact they have, in in the corporation, and I see outside of Steve Jobs, I don't want to name these guys, but it's a few executives who were dressing really bad, never have any recognition. So let me use somebody who didn't care about that, and he's in my presentation as well. But I was able to mention him is Warren Buffett. If you look at pictures, Warren Buffett, and I'll share it with you guys. Okay. Before, while he was working, elevating his life, he never cared about the way he looked. But when he has to go and get some of the major funding, he had to dress up. His presence was matter. His daughter, who was obviously running the company half away, before, he
Berkshire
retired.
Hathaway. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. She said, Dad, you cannot look like this. Well, it's like, no, Dad, you got to wear a suit, You got to wear a suit. And looking at these two images, how Warren Buffett was, and when he really racking those billions of dollars, how he has to change his form, And another executive I'll mention, Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, when he first got the $9 billion investment, he went in with his T-shirt. And those investors, this is not something I say, this is something you can find online. These people say, you're supposed to have some respect. Come here and dress appropriately than wearing a hoodie.
Oh.
That's how he went in that meeting. But guess what? He had to straighten up to be present. And let me mention another guy, Jay-Z. When Jay-Z sit with Steve Jobs and Steve Forbes and Warren Buffett and the former mayor of New York City.
I know, I can't remember.
Anyway, one of the former mayor of New York City, Bloomberg, that's it, Jay-Z at his image was not wearing a suit. That was the first time people see Jay-Z in the suit.
In a suit.
So what is that saying? That present is showing respect to yourself and to others. You know what I mean? So that's why, to me, having the present is really how you conveying yourself to the
others.
public.
Yeah.
So now let's bring it all the way to the private. So the public, you made the case, right? But I'm curious about you, Haj. It's so do you ever not dress up?
In a suit, I was going to say.
I'm talking about presence, right? Like, when is it that, because, this is your brand, right?
Yeah.
So do you ever walk around with sweatpants or?
It's so true, because the first time when I met you, you and I were going to work out together. So we were both in workout outfits. You remember that? And it was like 90 degrees out. And you walked up with the fedora and the three-piece suit. You looked great, but I was like, wow, he must be hot. I remember saying to you, he must be hot.
Well, I wasn't.
Okay,
Because it was the fabric. Because I have the bamboo fabric. Because the sport coat was made. The sport coat there's no lining in it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
There's no line, so it's breathable. And the shirt that I had as well was a lightweight bamboo shirt.
Okay.
It's breathable,
Yeah, okay.
And it was an event that I was going
Got
to.
it.
So I have to
got
make
it.
sure that I'm dressed up.
Of course.
Properly, but not being hot.
Yeah.
I might look like I was hot, but
No, you
I was
weren't.
very uncomfortable.
You look comfortable.
You looked comfortable.
So,
No, yeah.
and I dress up casual.
Okay.
You dress up casual.
I do dress up casual. I have sweatsuits, but I made the sweatsuit to be presentable that I can wear anywhere I want to go.
Yeah.
I can wear it to any business meeting.
Are they tailored sweatsuits?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's what the model
I was going to say the model has it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for fall, winter, I get the wool and cashmere with lycra blend. It's stretchy.
Amazing.
But the smoothness, you want to look at the outfit and just understand this is a high-end quality fabric, number one, but yet it's comfortable. Yeah. So I make my casual outfit. Do I have denim? Yes, I have denim pants.
Yeah.
I made myself a denim suit, multiple different colors, the stretch denim. And those are my casual.
Yeah.
I make my these are stretch shirt, which is I make T-shirts out of these.
Oh, okay.
And this is 98% cotton.
Okay.
And 7%, 7% lycra.
Yeah.
Why? Because I want to dress it up. It's casual.
Yeah.
So to me, and this is something I'm used to. It's like it started since
I was
we
going
were
to say we were
kids,
little.
I would go to...
Were you the best dressed soccer player out there on the street?
I'm sure you were.
Well, some people say that. And I go to my daughter's school. My daughter used to say, Daddy, look, people wear jeans. I say, yeah, baby, I don't have it. Now, I made a denim suit because of my daughter. Because
Just so you can be casual.
So I can be casual, but I
my
want to
God, I
be
love it
casual
so
in
much.
my
In
own
your
way.
shoe, absolutely.
And what stay in me is my dad's word. This is not what we do. This is who we are.
Oh,
I love it.
So I am not only, like selling clothes. No. I help people to see and close their identity. I link the present with the people's identity.
Yeah.
To me, the present, it is the way you show up matter, and sometimes you might not have a second chance on the way you show up.
true.
So that's why I call it an impactful presence.
wow, nice.
You know, one thing that I will say, and I look at the two of you, and one thing, and I'm just going to kind of go tactical here.
Okay.
For people that I find, like guys who aren't comfortable, kind of taking it to the next level, it's like, I don't want to, I find that one thing that guys will do is, so you have these colors.
Uh-huh.
Can you, what was this? What is this? Oh my God, are you kidding?
So this here, okay, usually double-breasted jacket, people will have a button. So people will have a button here.
Right.
No, you want to have this.
Why?
So this allow, just like I can be having a conversation, I'm hot.
Oh, and it.
So this
Keeps it.
keeps the jacket this side in, and I get a ventilation here, and my jacket is not open because it's a double-breasted. If I stand with my double-breasted, this is open, so you see it's a lot of fabric. I look like a sack. It's a double-breasted. The
good
jacket
sack.
is open,
A good
but
sack.
if I can get the same,
Yeah.
get the ventilation with this close, I still get that, but I still bring my jacket. My silhouette still should be intact.
What I love is that, because even here, as I'm sitting here beside you, there's and you did it with your. It's the pop of the colors, and that's just enough. I found. You were asking earlier, what advice would you give for younger individuals who are trying to, or you're not used to doing this? What I found is that it's like, okay, you know what? Do something little, add a pop of color here, like the breast color, or do
Pocket
like a
square.
Yeah,
Pocket
pocket
square.
square. Do like a lapel, something. I love these little, things, because that also makes a difference. It really
it
does.
makes a statement, right?
It makes a
It's
statement, and it's memorable.
No, it's a communication without you saying anything.
Yeah.
Isn't that? And what is it communicating?
Yeah.
The communicating is confident.
It's
It's
amazing.
communicating confident.
And by the way, I've been told that color communicates confidence. Particularly for guys, pink and purple.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Those are you telling people I am confident and comfortable with myself.
With yourself. That's right.
Yeah. So Haj, as we wrap up here, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that you also have done some really good. You have a philanthropic initiative.
Oh.
Yes.
That you sort of donated over 34,000 suits to young men.
Over the 30-some years.
Yeah, tell us about what's that about and why are you doing it? I mean, that's quite the.
That's amazing.
Okay. I started this because when I start getting intern, I see how my interns they come in, I ask them question, what do you think about, what your future is like? So they telling me, and this is not only the kids who's in fashion, but some of the kids who's not in fashion that the schools are bringing in. They talk about how they want to look good, but they don't have any means. They about to graduate, and they don't have dad. Their dad passed away, whatever, and their mom cannot afford that. So I was like, wow, okay. Then I did it for one kid. And I saw his eyes lit up, putting on the suit for the first time. And I gave it to him, and the kids went home and put it on for his mom. His mom burst tears.
Tears, I bet.
And called me. The mom said, "You don't know what you did." I say, "I do. I mean, the man is bright, he's about to graduate. So, why not? It's my pleasure to do that." It's like, no. His father never put on the suit, and his whole dream was to be able to buy tailor-made suit until he died. Never did that. So you made him accomplish his father's dream.
Oh my God.
Well, and I said, I'm going to be doing this for every kid that I know. So
Wow.
I started doing this since 2003.
Wow.
So what I do, most of what I do for my client, like you purchase, is packages. So when I make a package for a client, I ask them, let me perform a closet analysis for you.
Oh, yeah.
So the closet analysis, what it does is we go into your closet. Anything you have in your closet you haven't worn in 24 months, gotta go. I mean, you don't need it, and let's do that. And the ones that you care about keeping, you can keep that. And we're going to assist you of reconstruct those garments so it can, it has to be aligned because we're creating a new you. So while creating new you, there's a certain fit, and that fit has to be consistent.
Wow.
So that's what, I started doing, and I started getting a bunch of these clothes. So I started going to churches, and, I did one with the Chicago Bar Association. I gave away a bunch of clothes. The kids were happy. I did give away some clothes at the Trinity Church Apostolic.
So you take these clothes from these closets that they get,
From these
and then you
executives.
tailor it to these.
Well, some I tailor.
Or some you don't need to.
Yeah, I don't need to. And some I just, there's folks that I know who does alterations and understand. And these folks, I work with them to show them the correct way of reconstructing garment without losing the shape.
Yeah.
So I work with them to help that kid.
I love that story.
So it's a great pleasure for me to do this, man, because just looking at the joys of these kids is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What
a gift.
So that's wonderful. So, thank you, Haj, for sharing all this.
Here.
Yeah. And this is a part of the program where we call it Disrupt GPS, where Eloiza and I just kind of have some takeaways from the conversation, and then feel free to chime in as we do. So, Eloiza, what did you take away from this?
My biggest takeaway is, this idea of presence and identity. And I really do agree with that, because this idea of wearing whatever you're wearing wherever you are, and we didn't use this word today, but being unapologetic.
Absolutely.
About what it is that you're wearing. I have 4 boys, and I tell the boys all the time, and my parents have always told us, wear what you're comfortable in, wear what makes you. At the same time, kind of always dress better than the other people in the room. And why? I would always say why, and it was like, well, because that displays your presence. It's not that you're better than anybody else, but it also helps with your confidence. And over time, since I was little, I learned that. And to your point, Haj, I started seeing how people responded to me. If I was in clothes that fit me well, that made me feel good, whether it's you saw the first time you met me, I was in workout clothes.
Yes.
So, and I mean, but that it fit me well. I felt good in it. I was fine with it. And now you see me in a 3-piece suit, and it's the same presence, right? Yeah. Because I have learned that over time, and clothes have actually been a very big part of my journey. Yeah. You have to experiment. I really appreciate that. Don't be scared of clothes. Don't be scared of just experimenting. Don't be scared of, kind of figuring it out. I will say, and this is something we didn't talk about today, but we should keep talking about it. For women also, it's putting on the clothes, but it's also like, there's a difference between putting your hair up here, having your hair down. There's a lot that goes into kind of a presence for a woman. Mm-hmm. There's the makeup and the hair, and the makeup is going to be different if I have something different, but I experimented over time. And that to me was actually what allowed me to find that perfect kind of spot.
But you wanted it.
I did.
So that's why when you want it, you try. And
it's true.
Dressing is telling people, I love me.
Oh, I love that.
I respect me. So you respect me. Anybody who walk into any door looking presentable is respected without them opening their mouth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's a signal you send. Your presence is an energy and a signal. When you walk in the room, that's the first thing people see. So how those people treat you based on how you show up.
Yeah. So
You show up like I love me, I respect me, people going too. So you get
I agree.
these two response. You walk in the door, you look incredible. Hi, how are you? Oh my God, you look great. Please come on in. Can we get you something? Can we get, they get into all of what they can get. Thank you. Oh yeah, I would like this. Yeah, please sit down. Then they come back and ask you, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
Versus
it is true.
Versus you don't care. You walk in the door, hello, be like, hello, how are you? What can I do for you?
Yeah, so I like that.
So you forget all of that. You know what I'm saying?
And I like that reciprocity, right? Because at first you talk about the impact it has and how people view you. Okay. But it communicates to the other person that you care about them.
And
not about yourself, but also about them because you dressed up for them and for you. Right? It's really powerful, right?
Is
Yeah,
interesting.
absolutely.
So I'll tell you my disrupt GPS here. When I was in high school, I was trying to find my identity in terms of from dressing, right? But I didn't quite have Haj around. So for a while, I was doing like, striped pants and plaid shirt, right? Then kind of, but I was trying to break through.
You're trying. You're trying.
Yeah. So I had a girlfriend in college who set me straight. So, but then after that, I knew that there was something there that I really intuitively felt that,
It's awesome.
Fashion sort of, it does say something about you.
It does.
But you need help along the way.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have helped a lot of people along the way.
Yeah, man.
As well.
And your transition too, man. I mean, you went from conservative to, I'm disrupting. And I mean, look at his wardrobe.
No, I agree. I have seen, I've seen suits.
Yeah, but we had to kind of figure out our dance to a little bit.
We went back and forth.
Because he worked with different body types than I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for a while, we're like, Haj, I love the look, but
I say, man, give it a try. Trust me, you're going to. Then he do it, then like, actually, I'm like,
but it took a little bit of time, but also kind of, but it is a conversation, a relationship with your tailor because
I agree.
I put stuff on and I go, oh, I liked it, but it's not quite me just yet, right? So we finally landed on, Latin American soccer player look.
Okay.
And he goes, got it.
Yeah. And actually, I will say, as we're closing, Haj, you said earlier, get somebody to help. You said get somebody to help you. Tailoring is so important. I have a really, really good tailor, and I have a relationship with him where I can walk in and I can show him, here are the things that I need, done, and he's like, all right, put that on, and I'll say, well, I want it to come up to here. He's like, no, I'm going to do it to here. Yeah. And I trust him because he's been doing this for so long, and I'm like, no, I've pushed back on him.
So
no, I said I want it here.
Got the eye.
Yeah. And I'll put it on, and then he's like, see, I told you it should have been here. Yeah. So now I'm like, whatever.
I mean, he's pushed me so much. I go, hey, Andrés, I have this color for you and this and that. And I go, oh no, I can't do that.
And you can't.
No, trust me.
And you put it on.
And you go, okay.
That's exactly how my tailor is. But you're right. So to have somebody to help you and to have somebody get you past them, that is so important. I agree. I agree. Yeah. So wonderful. So so we just want to again thank Haj for being here.
Thank you.
No, I know it's so amazing.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. It's been amazing. So we hope that you all had a really great time, and comment and note what are the things that you're thinking about with presents, with identity, with clothes, with fashion, earrings, right? I'd love to hear that as well. You know where to find us. You know how to, talk about disruption. With us, we'll have it in all of the links. But again.
And where can we find Haj?
Oh, yeah. Where can we find you?
MaisonDeHaj.com.
Okay, so we'll put that. Yeah.
MaisonDeHaj.com. That's the website.
And
it's under construction, but it's still there. It's functioning.
And you're here in Chicago and in D.C.
I'm in Chicago and D.C., yes. Okay. So I go back and forth.
Well, in between your trips to Paris.
Exactly.
in West Africa.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because
And kings and soccer players
we'll
and
figure it out.
corporate people. Yeah.
exactly.
That's amazing.
And you know, a lot of dignitaries, because you know,
Goodness sake.
Africa are getting a lot of young dignitaries.
Wow.
Yeah. It's up and coming.
Yeah, up and coming, and they want to have that impactful presence. So
I love it.
We travel back and forth to assist them with that.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
See you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye.